What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to MemeGC on the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and we are getting right into it today as we've got a interesting team here. We've got T-Tar, we've got Galarian Slowbro, which is interesting to see in VGC for sure, and then we've got Gardevoir. This is a really cool team. I'm not opposed to it, but so we're jumping in today using the same team that we used the last episode, which is our Stoutland and Tyranitar team, and I've made a couple key changes. Now, one of them won't show up in the video, unfortunately, because I changed his name to Tucker, which is the name of my dog. And yeah, you can just let me know in the comments below if you think they look similar. But so yeah, we're basically rolling with the same squad today, and I'm pretty hyped about it. I don't think that Stoutland really got all that much of a chance to shine last episode, and so I wanted to give it a chance to do its thing. So let's do it. Yeah, so make sure to leave a like on the video. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. We are trying out some pretty spicy tech, I would say, on today's episode. So yeah, if you missed last week's episode on Friday, that will be down in the description below, as well as up in one of the iCards above. And let's see what my opponent leads with. T-Tar and Slowbro. Interesting. So we are rocking the Stoutland and T-Tar. So from this, we learned that his T-Tar is faster than ours. We are min speed T-Tar because we are able to work in Trick Room as well. I'm not really particularly threatened by the Slowbro, so I feel pretty safe going for a Max Knuckle onto this T-Tar. Now, I have a couple of options here. I don't think I want to Surf here and activate his weakness policy and then him move first. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and after you, just so that we guaranteed go before the other Tyranitar, because we know it's faster. Alright, so we're already starting off with some crazy shenanigans. Quick Claw, Quick Draw, Galarian Slowbro in VGC. You can't... This is the only place you're going to find it. On MemeGC, are you going to find stuff like this in VGC? So I said I wasn't threatened by it. I've changed my mind. I'm now kind of scared as to what this thing is going to want to do. Imprison. Okay, so what do you have that you are imprisoning that you think that I'm going to go for? I'm not sure what it expects, but we're just going to knock T-Tar out turn one. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm not really threatened by Slowbro right now. I also don't have Max Quake on this Tyranitar, so it's not like I can, you know, I have Mike's Darkness, but like I don't have a reason to kill it right now because I mean, it's just going for Imprison. I don't really know what it would carry that I need to be particularly worried about. Now this I could be particularly worried about. We know for sure that this is going to be faster. We know for sure it's going to be faster. So we could go ahead and fire a Darkness off into it. We could also guard and go for something else, but I think we can live one in Sand. And the fact that it's most likely G-Max means that it's not going to end up, and we'll go for After You again just so that we're faster. But actually being slower, there may have been a better option just to go ahead and get our weakness policy activated, but this will save it for next turn. We are Sash on Stoutland as well, so it is G-Max. So the thing about G-Max is, yes, it's going to hit like a truck. It's going to hurt. Also, a Max Guard is kind of obvious here. I'm wondering if my opponent will read that. That's kind of why I went for what I was going for, is because I was hoping my opponent would read a Max Guard and go for the Stoutland. We'll just have to see. But we do half with Max Darkness, which is fantastic. That is very good damage. And we're going to go ahead and lower special defense of both parties, which is very good. And White Herb. Oh, okay. All right. So no, my opponent did not predict a Max Guard. Not that Stoutland could really do a whole lot of damage anyway, but yeah, as you can see in Sand, it really doesn't do all that much. And that's just going to activate our weakness policy. So yeah, now you've got a super speedy Tyranitar with the help of Stoutland. As it goes for Shell Sidearm, that's fine. Even if you poison me, I don't care. Okay, so yeah, no poison, nothing like that. And so, yeah, we're kind of just, we're doing okay now. We're doing fine. And I think a lot of it has to do with the Stoutland being able to get off those big hits. Now, that one, I don't think After You necessarily was the right play, just because I could have let it hit me first, and I wasn't concerned about getting knocked out. But on this turn, I think I'm going to go for the After You, just so that I don't take another unnecessary hit. Now, does my opponent predict this and go for Max Guard? Because it obviously has Shell Smash by having Shell Smash. We know it has Max Guard, and so me attacking into it is kind of obvious. So I'm actually going to Darkness into the Slowbro, and I'm going to Protect with Stoutland. I'm going to call his Max Guard. Didn't do it. Okay. Well, that's okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're good. We're good. We called it. We called it correctly. We're fine. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, but no, we're good. So yeah, that Max Guard was kind of obvious, but I could have been in a weird position if I didn't call it. So good prediction. Good prediction. I think my opponent had to make that play though, because otherwise Blastoise just kind of goes down. So yeah, that's actually going to be fine. Now my opponent does have one extra turn of Dynamax over us, so that could be somewhat of a concern, but I think that Crunch should still just knock it out, since we weren't Policy before, as we do see a Gengar come in. Okay, what do we have in the back? We have Marowak and Azumarill. Both of which are somewhat threatened by Gengar and by Blastoise. Yeah, so this is still not over. I think I'm going to go for Rock Slide here just for maximum damage, and we'll go for After You. We know that Stoutland is still going to be faster. I'm telling you, support Stoutland is... it needs to be a thing. Nobody's using it, but it needs to be a thing. It's pretty cool. But +2 Rock Slide should okay, it's Sash. Yeah, I was hoping it would pick up the KO on the Blastoise, but it doesn't. It does flinch though, so we do get the flinch on the Gengar, which is going to be nice because that means at least one of my mons is going to survive. All right, T-Tar does go down, but leaving Stoutland around actually is fine. So here's the thing, Stoutland is still the fastest thing on the field. That goes down to the sand because of the Sash. And so does that. Yeah, and Stoutland is the last man standing. Just how it's supposed to be. So this is how you start off an episode, by showing off just how After You support Stoutland can work. He's just such a gentleman. He's a dapper gentleman. His name is Tucker, but you can't see it when you're on ranked battles. But I did change his name, and it's great. Also, I changed him from Adamant to Jolly, so at the end of this video will be a revised team code if you would rather use Jolly Stoutland. So I think Jolly is probably a little bit better, just because, oh look, congratulations on winning in the highest rank. Yeah, we are in Master Ball tier now, which is pretty cool. It does make it kind of difficult because this team, honestly, it's a fun team, but it is a meme team, and so it's kind of difficult to win against your meta teams. But every now and then you can pull something out. So yeah, we're in Master Ball tier. It's pretty fun. But yeah, so I will see you guys in game 2. All right, game number 2, and we've got a Drampa, for crying out loud. That's pretty cool, I have to say. We do have a male Indeedee, so that is going to be trying to be anti-Trick Room, which could be an issue, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. The problem is Urshifu and Rillaboom. They pretty much stop Tyranitar. They stop Tyranitar pretty well, so I'm gonna have to get a little creative with how we do this. So I'm gonna lead Indeedee, Marowak. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. The Urshifu is a problem, so I'm gonna bring Azu in the back. And then, do I want Hatterene to try to set Trick Room here once we get rid of the... Well, I don't really have a great way of getting rid of it on this, so Let's actually do Indeedee T-Tar again. And then let's bring Azu, because I think that's pretty nice. Stoutland really isn't too needed just because there is some priority on the opponent's team. So let's bring Marowak. Yeah, I think this is what I want. This is kind of a rough matchup. Just Rillaboom is just a rough matchup in general, which is bad seeing how it's the #1 used Mon in VGC. We do have ways to deal with it with Marowak, obviously, but we have to get really lucky with our predictions, or just be really good at the game. But we all know that that's not me. So we see Drampa and Indeedee, so that is an interesting lead. It's not necessarily the worst lead, I guess. But what does Drampa want to do here? The worst thing I could think would be like Max Flare. But I don't see the problem with going for Helping Hand Max Knuckle here into the Drampa slot. Male Indeedee does not carry, it can't carry Follow Me. So yeah, it does switch out. So yeah, no redirection there, as we do see the dark type Urshifu, which is not too bad. We can redirect it next turn. So I think this is actually not a terrible turn one. But yeah, Indeedee Male was there to try to counter my own Indeedee Hatterene. But I figured that something like that would happen, so I can't really lead with that. As we do go ahead and see the max on the Drampa, so that's pretty cool. Even at min speed, well, I mean, we're min speed. I'm assuming this Drampa is not. So Drampa might be faster than us. We'll just have to see. And Drampa's pretty bulky on the special side, but not so much on the physical from what I remember. I haven't seen a Drampa in a very long time. No max guard, so that's good. We are faster than the Drampa, so that's good. How much does this do? Oh man, it does half even with Helping Hand. That's kind of insane how little that does. So do we see like a Max Flare here? Max Wormwind to try to lower the attack. Okay, that makes sense. Into the Indeedee, but we are going to survive, which is huge. Yeah, that is huge because now we will be able to redirect the Urshifu's attack. So we're going to Follow Me here for sure. And Max Knuckle into the Drampa. If it wants to go for a Max Guard, I mean, that is a play that it can make. We could have also gone for the Max Knuckle on the Urshifu. May not have been the worst play in the world. But at least we know that Max Guard will work if we want to use it this next turn, just because it will not be, there will not be a max coming from the Urshifu. So I'm wondering what my opponent goes for here. I think I have to Follow Me here, otherwise I just kind of lose my T-Tar. Because otherwise, yeah, I'm kind of in danger. As we see a withdraw from the Drampa. Okay, so my opponent just gets out of the Dynamax option, going into what? Into Sylveon. Okay, to take the Max Knuckle. Yeah, so Max Knuckle on Urshifu would have been a really good play. But not to say that this is necessarily the worst play. So my opponent targeted that slot anyway. Okay, so that's fine. Does knock out our Indeedee here. And we are going to get off the Max Knuckle. So now is a time that it actually would have been nice to have Stoutland. Stoutland would have been really nice to bring here, because then we could have just knocked out the Urshifu on this turn. But we're just going to have to figure out a way to work around it. I believe we go Azu here. And this just basically completely endangers the Urshifu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just play rough it straight up and max guard here. I don't want to take any kind of massive damage. I don't want to take a close combat. I don't mind taking a hyper voice, but I definitely don't want to take a hit from Urshifu. That is just kind of the position I'm in. I don't want to take that. Marowak can't take a Wicked Blow at all. That would just completely destroy me. So what do you go for here? I don't think this match is over by any means. I think my opponent definitely still has a shot at this, so I don't want you to run. Please don't run. Please make a move. Yeah, I mean, he still has all 4 of his mons, so this is definitely still a winnable match for my opponent, and I don't believe we know the identity of the final mon yet. My opponent does go for Wicked Blow on the Azumarill. Again, we're not really threatened by that, so it doesn't do that much. And then we see Mystical Fire, so my opponent does call my my max guard there, but that's not really that big of a deal. That is going to pop our berry, which is nice. And we should be able to just go ahead and delete this Urshifu from the field, which is exactly what we need. Perfect. So there's no way. Okay, so yeah, we are in a very good position now, depending on what's in the back. We still have Indeedee in the back, but what else? I don't believe we know the identity of the 4th mon yet. But that could change everything, because we do shrink back down now, and so we're going to take a lot more damage from whatever wants to come in. Oh yeah, it was Drampa, that's right. So I don't think we're particularly threatened by either of these mons, to be honest. And we still have our weakness policy intact here, so we can... Let's see. I think the Sylveon's probably a bigger threat here. Yeah, although Cloud9 on the Drampa is kind of a weird one too. I think I'm gonna play rough into the Drampa, and then I'm gonna crunch. No, yeah, I guess Rock Slide is probably my best shot. They could also both go for Hyper Voice. I mean, that's stab from both of them. As we see a withdraw on the Drampa. Okay. Into Indeedee Male. Okay. And Tyranitar is actually the fastest thing on the field, which is kind of crazy, seeing how we're min speed. Does Sylveon flinch? It does not, but that's going to activate our weakness policy. And we actually live with Azumarill. I did not expect to live with the Azu there, but the 7 HP clutch survival, and it dies to its own life orb. That is that's crazy. We're gonna die to our own sand though, which is unfortunate. But you did good. And then I believe having Marowak in the back is gonna be exactly what we need. That's gonna be perfect for dealing with a Drampa, because obviously now we're immune to a Hyper Voice if that's what it wants to go for. You can't get both of us with a Draco Meteor, so I believe we're okay. We're just gonna Bone Meringue here. We could also just miss. That's also a thing that could happen. And we're gonna Superpower here, and that should seal up the game. And the battle's canceled. Yeah, I don't think my opponent really had an option there, but really cool team though with the Drampa. I really like Drampa personally. I think it's a really cool mon. Cloud9 is interesting, just being able to negate things like Sun, which is super common nowadays, and then Sand as well, which is pretty cool. I don't hate it. So let's get, of course, one last match for you guys. All right, last match of the day, and we see a Colossal team. A Colossal team is very scary for me. I'm not really sure how we deal with a Colossal team, to be honest. But we've got things like Venusaur, which are threatening, but the Colossal is the biggest thing, right? Being able to boost its speed to +6 is kind of an issue. Actually, I don't know if... Does Stoutland in Sand... If we are now Jolly, which we are... Let's see... If you are +6 speed, Yeah, you still outspeed Jolly, outspeeds Jolly Stoutland, which is kind of an issue, but I think it's just something we're gonna have to work around because everything else just kind of goes down. We'll bring Azu here. I think that's pretty necessary. And then I think Marowak is probably a good last pick. This looks like a tough matchup though. Colossal with Dragapult definitely is a rough one. But we'll just have to see what happens here. So yeah, I'm not feeling super confident about this one, as we see. Not that. Okay. So okay, this could be an issue if this thing wants to start going for sleep powders and that sort of thing. So I believe what I will do here is protect with T-Tar and go ahead and fire off a Psychic Fangs just for some prior damage on the Venusaur, because I could see my opponent. All right, so my opponent does go ahead and just max rather than setting up any kind of sleep. So yeah, the what is it called? Gothitelle is there for Imprison Trick Room in case we have like Hatterene and Didi. But Hatterene and Didi actually would have been fine if we just clicked Expanding Force. Turn one, that actually would have just knocked it out. Alright, so we do see the fake out onto Stoutland actually, which is... I don't really agree with, but yeah, we do see a Max Ooze doubling into Stoutland. Stoutland is not the threat here. At least not in my opinion. I don't think Stoutland is the threat. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so basically we did nothing that turn, which is not what you want to do. So we're gonna go ahead and max and go for a Darkness onto the Venusaur. And let's see, we could go ahead and Psychic Fangs that again. I think Stoutland is gonna go down here, and I don't think there's really much I can do about it. It is starting to boost its special attack, which is not something that I want. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and max our T-Tar, and Stoutland is gonna go ahead and go for an attack. If Stoutland survives this turn and they double up into the Tyranitar, that could be okay, assuming that with weakness policy we have a 2-hit KO on the Venusaur. But we'll just have to see as we see Ally Switch. Okay, not great. I'm really not a fan of that move. I think that it is kind of toxic, to be honest. I think it's really bad for everything, as it does hit into T-Tar. So actually, this may not be the worst. So we are actually going to be able to take down the Gothitelle here. It does carry the Darkness Berry, but at +2. At +2, come on. And it is a physical hit. Yeah, if it was a special hit, maybe not. But I was like, come on. That's gotta do it. Yeah, Colbur Berry's not gonna save you there, which is good. No more Ally Switch shenanigans. Yeah, Stoutland does live one more. We don't live any more after that. So we're looking pretty, backs up against the wall. But let's see if we can't pull this one out. Sends out Azu. Okay, yeah, Azu is a problem because, Aqua Jet is a thing. So, what do we want to do here? What did we bring in the back? We brought our own Azu, and we brought Marowak. We're gonna have to get rid of the opposing Azu. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click Darkness on this, and I'll click After You on T-Tar. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything I can do to prevent what is about to happen, to be honest. Yeah, we'll click it anyway, just to see, but I'm assuming we see an Aqua Jet here. We see a Protect. Ooh, boy. So the after you is going to come through here, and we're going to actually get the hit off. So yeah, that was the only reason. Does this go down? It does. Oh, that's huge. That's huge. Okay. So Venusaur does not get its final turn. So that's actually really nice. I mean, I get the play. I really do understand the play for my opponent, but like it ended up completely messing him up there. So Stoutland is going to go down, but Stoutland may have saved the game there. It depends on what the last mon is. We survived this last turn, but we won't survive another. We're going to go our own Azu here. So what do you have? What is your last? Colossal. Okay. Yeah, this is a rough one. This is gonna be a real rough one. We do have Marowak, which Marowak would have been a not terrible switch in here. So I think I max guard here. Yeah. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for a belly drum here. We know that it's not gonna Dynamax here, so yeah, Aqua Jet into its own. Okay, okay. See, I was expecting that into the T-Tar. But this also works. This also works. So do you attack into the T-Tar? You do. So this is a free belly drum. So this actually is exactly what we needed. Yep, and so Colossal goes down next turn. So this actually ended up working out. So we may actually be able to pull this game off after all. This was a rough matchup, but we may actually be able to do it. As we're faster than the opposing Azu, which is kind of crazy. We do live one more Vine Lash, which is nice. Azu takes one. Ouch. And we Shrinky Boy. So yeah, that's not too shabby. So now what I do is I Rock Slide here, but I'm basically sacking T-Tar if you don't deal with it. And we Aqua Jet into the opposing Colossal. Yeah, Protect was obvious, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. Wasn't really much I could do about that. You know, I could have play roughed into the opposing Azu, but it's not really that big of a deal as Sand ends, so that's not too bad. So now we have... Ow. So now we have a Marowak in the back, which is in kind of a scary position. Let's be real. So what we'll do here is we're gonna Poltergeist into the Azu. Yeah, we haven't seen an item yet, have we? So, and then we're gonna Aqua Jet into the Colossal. I have to get this Colossal out of here. It's just what I have to do. But Marowak may actually be able to deal with this. Just knowing that my Azu is faster and his does not have Belly Drum up, we might be able to pull this through. As goes for the double protect. Yeah, I mean, that was your best play. I can't. If he had got it, I think that would have been game over for us. That would have definitely sealed the game. As now my opponent goes for Perish Song. Okay. I mean, I get it. I understand. We're going to Poltergeist here and hit you with your own berry. This should do a good chunk. Bop. Oh my gosh, that damage. That's kind of insane. Like, let's be real. That's insane damage. All right, Perish counts all fall, and no more Vine Lash. Very good, very good. So basically what I do is I just double attack every turn. And yeah, Azu doesn't get any spread moves, and Marowak's actually slower. So yeah, Marowak is slower, so actually even if it stalled me, I could have stalled out his own Perish Song on himself. So that's pretty cool though, seeing the Perish Song tech. That's actually pretty nice. But those are some pretty cool games. And of course we got to see our Stoutland do some work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of MemeGC. I say this week, we're gonna have another one on Friday. I don't know what I'm talking about. And so yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I hope you guys are loving the streams, and we will have more streaming on Sunday as well. So make sure that you guys subscribe so you don't miss any of those. And until Wednesday with another Wi-Fi battle, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.